Intermission. Rise and stretch time. Time to refresh yourself and visit our snack bar. Got a yen for hot popcorn? Your favorite soft drinks are sparkling cold. The juicy Frank sizzling hot. There's delicious coffee, freshly brewed, and all kinds of ice cream and candy to tempt you. Showtime will be announced loud and clear to get you back to your car in time. So stretch your legs. Come to the snack bar now. It's time to stretch and fetch. See what's cooking at our refreshment counter. You'll find your favorite foods and beverages, plus many new goodies to tempt your appetite and add to your evening's pleasure. Everything's the finest quality. So treat yourself now. Nine minutes to go to showtime. Popcorn, rich with hot melted butter. All kinds of candy. Sparkling soft drinks. Steaming hot coffee. Steamed or grilled hot dogs.
Do we need anything done Friday?
Crispy hot fresh French fries.
I don't think so. Good, because I'm not doing shit.
8 minutes to go to showtime.
I'm sorry, sir. This is a private mountain.
But I only wanted it.
This mountain is reserved for patrons. It's a supply depot for all sorts of good things, which people can get at the snack bar. Like soft drinks, candy bars of all kinds, delicious popcorn, and refreshing ice cream treats.
But I am a patron.
Well, why didn't you say so? Be our guest.
Who said German people?
7 minutes to go to showtime.
Good idea.
Hot popcorn, just pop.
You add it in with the onions.
Fresh roasted peanuts.
Because I fry the onions with a little bit of oil. Do I need to so once the onions are translucent.
How about a pizza? None better
It
anywhere.
doesn't have to go in there that long. Just sweat them a little bit. Do I need to cut them into pieces?
Sizzling hamburgers grilled to your taste.
We have the mandolin. If you put away all the dishes,
We've a large assortment of freshly made sandwiches.
Ready by then, and you can just use that. 6 minutes to go to showtime.
Yes, sir. May I help you?
I'd like 2 of those, please.
Hot dogs? Yes, sir.
And 3 of those. And 1 of those. And 5 bars of these. And a cup of that nice hot liquid.
Coffee. Coming right up.
Oh, and 2 bags of those peculiar white coffee material.
You mean our crunchy popcorn? Shall I wrap that for you, sir?
Oh, that's all right. My saucer's just outside.
They come from miles to enjoy our intermission.
Like it's hard to hear. Do it. Come on.
5 minutes to go.
Hello there. Give the demonstration of my new invention, the goodies machine. The machine turns out delicious hot doggies one after the other. And thirst-quenching sodas also. Gives popcorn of the most tasty kind, plain unbuttered. Candy too, crunchy and dandy. Steaming hot coffee and ice cream too. These goodies are at a snack bar just waiting for you. Mmm.
4 minutes to go to showtime.
As everyone knows, rainbows usually have a treasure at the end. Let's follow this one and see if we can find the pot of gold.
Oh, there, and I suppose you've come to claim me treasure.
Well, we'd like to see the gold first.
Anything that's better than gold in here, me lad. No, just look here, no.
Candy, refreshing soft drinks, popcorn, ice cream. Well, that's some treasure, but anyone can buy luscious treats like these at the snack bar.
You don't tell me. Do you suppose you could get me a job as a snack bar attendant?
Oh, I said this all the earlier. You gotta get through a gay name with his immediate reaction.
The crowds are thinning out at the snack bar, folks, and there are still 3 minutes till showtime. You can easily make it for something that'll just hit the spot. How about it? Don't waste a second of refreshment time. You'll find such an appetizing assortment of refreshments at the snack bar, you won't be able to decide what to ask for first. All of your snack bar favorites are there, including fresh peanuts, hot popcorn, and candy of all kinds. And believe us, you've never eaten better hot dogs, crisper French fries, or more delicious buttered popcorn.
That's why I
2 minutes to go to the snack bar for a quick refresher before showtime. No crowds to buck, just go get it. You'll be sorry you missed your chance to enjoy some of the many tempting goodies waiting for you. Stretch your legs now while the stretching's good. There's still time to get a mouth-watering hot dog, a sparkling ice-cold soda, assorted flavors of ice cream, all kinds of candy, the most delicious steaming hot coffee you ever drank, and freshly popped popcorn piping hot. Make a beeline for the snack bar right now to quench your thirst.
Most likely. Because I'm a giant
1 minute left to top off the evening with a treat from our snack bar. Still time if you hurry. Last call for refreshments, folks. Go right this second to get something good to eat and drink to enjoy now or during the rest of the show. The finest quality ingredients are in the fixins of the delicious foods you'll find waiting to tempt your appetite at the snack bar. Extra special good hamburgers, wonderful donuts, ice-cold, thirst-quenching drinks. Pizza generously sliced, steaming hot, fresh coffee, ice cream in many flavors. It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Hi. How are you? Because I'm fan-fucking-tastic. So, not the zombie game. We're going to do 428 Shibuya Scramble. So that means it's story time. And you get to listen to my shitty voice all night. Isn't that fantastic?
48 ounces for $16.
48 ounces. Isn't that what I have right now? Is 48 ounces?
No, you have 12 ounces.
Oh, shit. 48 ounce would be cool. Is there a bigger size than that?
30 size. It's 3 of the size.
Oh, it's just 3 the same size? Okay. Kind of figured as much. I'm pretty sure, like... So I know QP mayonnaise, when I was in Japan, you could buy it like a big fucking one, but I haven't seen it anywhere in the States. I mean, it's possible that I could import it somehow. I just got to figure out how. Anyways, hi. Trying to buy some QP mayonnaise, because it's fucking delicious. If you don't know what QP mayonnaise, it's a Japanese mayo. Compared to most other mayos that are out there, all it is just, well, most other mayos is just, what is it? Just egg itself and oil. That's all it is. That's all mayo is. But with a little bit of, like, white vinegar, usually, for just, like, a little bit of flavor, I guess. But with QP mayo, what they do, it's the same thing, but instead of white vinegar, they use rice vinegar. So it has a little bit more flavor, to be honest. Like, it's a distinct difference, and it's really good. But nobody's here for that, so I'm just going to go ahead and shut the fuck up while I boot up the game. Maybe. Oh, God. Oh, that's a thing that I can do with XSplit, apparently, that I did not know of. Game mode. Here we go. Let's see, we need to do the monitor thing. There we go. And 428. There it is. Sweet. And hello, Loki. How are you? Alright, so... Hold on a minute. Oh, that's right. I remember what happened now. So we're on one more little dead-end thing, and in order to finish that, I need to play as... somebody that I don't remember. I'm alright, I guess, for the most part. Today kind of sucked as a work day, but overall not terrible, I guess. Very busy, I can tell you that much. Okay, Achi's the one that I need to finish. Let's see, to be continued. To be continued, to be continued, to be continued. But I'm at a keep out on that one, so... There's somebody else's story I need to do at a specific time for a jump, and I think it was this one. Yep, this is the one. Because he was talking about his son, and from there I can jump over to Achi. As it happens, I'd also like to interview people from SOS. Would you be able to put me in touch with your son? Yeah, sure. Well, you should know that my son isn't in the gang anymore. There we go. Oh yeah, this is the vehicle. He told me, look. There it was. A blue van had appeared nearby, parked in a spot that had been empty previously. Achi couldn't see who was inside, but there was definitely something fishy about it. Besides, there weren't any other blue cars around, so this had to be it. He'd been right. The crooks had come back after all. I'm gonna go take a quick look, Achi said. You wait here. But before he could carry out his plan, he told me to jump to her feet. Without a word, she rushed toward the van. Hold on! I said wait! She wasn't slowing down. Achi caught hold of her arm. Wait! This could be dangerous. What if the kidnapper's in there? And what if my sister's in there? I have to go help her. Achi knew full well what it was like to be impulsive, but this was one situation where cooler heads would have to prevail. We can't just we can't just hang out here, she insisted. What if the car takes off again? That's why I said I was going to take a look. But isn't that dangerous? What if they do something to my sister because some random guy comes snooping around? Oh. Huh. Yeah, you got a point. Achi thought as fast as he could. The criminal told Hitomi to get into the van. There had to be some specific reason for that. What if they were planning to abduct her as well? Whatever the case, he couldn't just let her go.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
I know you're in the middle of something, but I want to send you something.
A dick pic?
Yes. I don't need to send you a dick pic for you. Listen.
You need to send me a dick pic.
Did you change your name once again?
I don't think so. Do you need me to send you another message? It should be at the top unless you fucking deleted me like a dick. I'm thinking you deleted me. Somebody's about to upgrade themselves to being an ex-boyfriend. Here, I'll send you a message. Hold on. Fuck, did you change your name? I can't find you.
See?
I'm kidding, of course. Wow, I said boop and it changed it to book. I like autocorrect.
There. I want you to watch that.
To watch this? Why, what is this? Oh, no, I actually seen that already. The trailer for it.
God damn it.
When I have nothing to do, I look at Twitter, baby. Anyways, back to the story. Oh, yeah? I'll tickle your Twitter.
Do it.
Okay, I'll send you a DM right now. He had to make a snap decision. Ah, fuck, of course. Look, just let me go first. I don't want to put you at any risk. Or, okay, let's go together then. Does that work for you? I think let's go together would be the smartest. Okay, let's go together then. Does that work for you? Please, we have no idea who or what we might run into.
But when that comes out, I'm gonna start watching it.
I kind of figured as much.
It looks so badass.
It looks like a show.
I was a fan of the original series, and I kind of hope this last season.
I'm just afraid when it comes to the new season of Dexter that, like, obviously it's not the same writer.
Wow.
But how are they going to explain that ending and all that shit?
I would be happy with anything.
I'm not surprised. They fucked it up.
Anything.
They fucked it up. Yeah. Hitomi gave a slight nod. All right, she said. But let me go first and you follow, okay? Got it, Achi replied. Achi waited as Hitomi started walking, then followed her at a distance so it wouldn't look like they were together. She headed straight for the van. Two men got out of the car, neither of them Japanese. Achi picked up his pace in case he needed to close the distance fast. One of the men approached Hitomi and said something to her. She gave an affirming nod. Suddenly, the two men grabbed her from either side. They dragged her to the van and shoved her into the back seat. Achi broke into a sprint. Of course it was a trap. He couldn't guess what their whole plan was, but kidnapping Hitomi was obviously part of it. But before he could reach the vehicle, the door slid shut. The van sped off an instant later. Achi raced after it. He ran as hard as he could, thinking of nothing else. He couldn't give up now. Couldn't let things end like this. He'd made a promise. No quitting halfway. And no turning his back on someone in trouble. But the car kept getting further and further away. Before long, it was just a blue speck that vanished into the cityscape. No! Achi never saw Hitomi again. I find that choice was kind of bullshit. Because I specifically went into that decision thinking that they were actually going to approach the van together like it said on the choice. But them changing it last minute like that? No. If I would have known that was going to happen, I wouldn't have chose that. It's kind of bullshit. That was unnecessary. Look, just let me go first. I don't want to put you at any risk. Hitomi's determination wavered at the look in Achi's eyes. Please, he continued. We have no idea who or what we might run into. If I think they're going to try to run off again, I'll give some signal. Then you can come along, and I doubt they'll be interested in leaving then. Hitomi gave a reluctant nod. Please be careful. Will do. And tell me if my sister's in there. I will. You can count on it. Achi stepped out into the open and started walking toward the van. He tried his best to look as if he wasn't paying it any attention. Yep, I am just an ordinary passerby. As he got nearer, he tried to sneak a glimpse inside. The van's dark window film made it hard to see who might be inside or even how many people. Casually, he moved closer still to get a better look. Suddenly, the sliding door burst open and several people jumped out. None of them were Japanese. Within moments, Achi was surrounded. Whoa, what? Hey, what's the deal? Achi said. He let out a little chuckle. Man, that thing must be packed. How many seats you got in that thing anyway? He took another step toward the vehicle and looked inside. One of the men pulled a knife from inside his jacket, thrusting it out in Achi's direction. He'd probably meant it as a simple threat, but on reflex, Achi went into self-defense mode, kicking him right in the jaw. There was a loud crack as his foot connected. The man dropped out like a light. The others stared, then rushed him. Well, this sure hadn't gone as planned. Too late to take it back now. The damage was done. Achi was just going to have to take out the rest of these punks too. He nimbly shifted his feet, evading their initial attack. Having to take these guys on 3-1 wasn't going to be pretty. Achi! He heard Hitomi cry out. Crap. He hadn't given any signal, but she had come out of hiding anyway. Hitomi, stay back! How was he supposed to fight off 3 guys and protect her at the same time? What could he do? What should he do? Within moments, a number of passers-by had gathered around the fight. Maybe they'd heard Hitomi shouting. Hey, what's going on? Oh my god, is that a knife? This ain't just some petty squabble. Someone call the police! Some of them began taking photos with their cell phones. As you do, I guess. One of the men cursed in frustration and signaled for his buddies to get back into the car. Achi couldn't stop them. The engine roared to life, and the van sped away. Knowing he'd never catch them on foot, Achi merely watched it go. He'd failed. This was his fault. All of it. Achi bit his lip hard. How could he possibly face Hitomi now? Achi! Hitomi's voice was hollow, empty. Achi stared down at his feet like a scolded child. I'm sorry, I didn't see whether your sister was in there or not. I see. The words, so simple and matter-of-fact, stung him to the heart. I'm so sorry. But Hitomi simply shook her head. The fact that she wasn't even chewing him out made him feel all the worse. I know I messed up, but He was going to say I'll make up for it somehow, but he froze with fear at what he saw next. Oh, Jesus, fuck. Across the street, staring at them, was the man with the cane. Hitomi, it's him! They had to get out of here. He grabbed Hitomi by the hand and bolted down Dogenzaka. The assassin followed, staying on his side of the road. Achi wasn't sure what to do. Should they try heading into the alleys and side streets again? No. It was more dangerous to head someplace where there would be fewer witnesses. Best to stick to Dogenzaka for now. The man wouldn't be able to gun them down if they managed to lose themselves in the crowd along Center Guy first. Besides, the guy had to use a cane. Achi and Hitomi could outrun him. Hand in hand, they sped along Dogenzaka and through the intersection in front of the 109 building. Come on, Hitomi, just a little further. Okay. She was panting, but she pressed on. Achi risked a glance back over his shoulder. Huh? He stopped in surprise. What's wrong? Hitomi said. That guy, he's not following us. The slope leading down to the intersection wasn't all that steep. Let's see, several plainclothes detectives have been hiding amidst the crowd in the intersection as part of the kidnapping stakeout. Right now, Director Kuze is sending a message to all officers over the wireless, and so the detectives have stopped to listen in. It's a bit unusual. An observant individual might notice. It was strange that the gunman hadn't bothered to pursue. Still, there was no time to worry about his behavior right now. Of course, Achi didn't notice. Hitomi, can you still run? Yes, I'm all right. Then this is our chance. This way. They needed to put plenty of distance behind them before the assassin came after them again. But they also needed to find the van again and rescue Hitomi's sister. So I wonder if that assassin guy was actually the one that sent the email originally to the doctor about him paying for his crimes. Hey, Snoop.
Exclamation mark meow.
Would they be able to find it and yet stay hidden from the man with the cane? Achi wasn't sure one way or the other.
Pat's daddy.
But with Hitomi in tow, he hurried onward along Center Guy. You want your head pats? There you go.
Yeah, I did a good job of surviving work.
Nice, me too. Barely.
I'm in enough pain, that's how I feel.
That's kind of how I feel, minus the whole physical pain thing. Alright, so we're on to the next chapter. Still the same 5 characters. I love the little wiggle. I want an animation of the wiggle. Commands to jiggling.
I don't know why I hurt so bad.
Maybe you slept incorrectly. You know, actually, now I didn't notice it.
Play the cat.
Yeah, we could play as the cat again. But I noticed when I was taking a shower earlier that I got like a weird muscle pain up along my, what is that? The lat muscle on my left side. I have no idea how the fuck that happened. Like, I usually sit upright. I don't really sit improperly or anything like that. Maybe it's just fatigue, but it feels like muscle strain. I didn't do any heavy lifting. And even then, when you heavy lift, you're supposed to, like, jerk your back really quickly in a twisting motion. In 1 hour, the Burning Hammer sales demo will begin. Chidi is laying out the assortment of snacks that we'll have on hand. Hey, Tama, you hungry? Why, yes. Yes, I am. I mean, that should be pretty obvious at this point. All I've had since putting on this stupid mascot costume is some burning hammer and a bunch of iced tea. Hey now, Chidi shoots back. What's with the attitude? Chidi, you do remember that you ate my lunch, right? The sticker said it was best before noon. You made that up. Yeah. Chidi chortles merrily and chugs some more iced tea. Okay, folks, Mr. Yanagishita calls out as he slips into the room. Lunch break's over. Back to work. I don't feel like I've had much of a break. If anything, I'm even more mentally exhausted than I was before. There's a box full of Anagochi toys in the storeroom on the 3rd floor. Mind bringing those down? Anagochi? I ask. What's that? The name makes it sound like some sort of product ripoff. Gee, I wonder why. Mr. Yanagishita's face widens in surprise. You've never heard of them? Oh my god. You know, Anagochi. It's a digital pet game where you raise an eel that lives in Tokyo Bay. Because unagi, that's root word. Root word, that's all. Yep, it'll have you raise a conger eel, which is also called an anago. Feeding it daily and clearing away feces, depending on how you raise your eel, it can wind up developing into various forms, like normal eel to ultimate eel sushi. You can also use the infrared communication feature to bring over friends for your eel from another nearby Anagochi device. There is also a sister product, Trout Watch. By connecting the two, you can view a special event where the eel and trout characters go to a pub together. The fuck? Never heard of it, I say. Huh. Well, I guess maybe a lot of people in Japan haven't heard of it yet. But it's all the rage right now with the youngsters over in NYC. Yes. In NYC, where they don't use Tamagotchis. NYC? Oh, he must mean New York City. It's popular in New York? Really? Anyway, I did some quick checking and that's what I learned. So last month I bought a whole bunch of them. And once again, you were swindled. Yep. Ouch. Chidi dropping the hard truth. Mr. Yanagishita lets out a pathetic whimper. No! That face. Just look at that. His confidence evaporates. He starts muttering to himself. I thought it sounded a little fishy, really. I mean, think about it. Why would kids in New York be interested in raising eels from Tokyo Bay? He muses. And what appeal would an eel character even have, anyway? None. That's what. I should have known that. I did know it. Then why'd you buy them? This farce is getting tiresome. Anyway, Yanagishita continues, it was going to cost way too much to keep them in storage, so I was just going to let the recycling guy take them. He hangs his head in shame. In a matter of moments, he's borderline catatonic. If you don't know what that means, that's what it means. Wait, what? The type of eel that Anagochi, its name Anago, can be loosely translated as the creature that lives in a hole. Mr. Yanagishita is probably wishing he could crawl into a hole right about now. Chidi, on the other hand, flashes a big, bright grin. Still, you know, eel's pretty delicious. Oh, Chidi, Yanagishita blurts. Thank you. He clasps her hands in gratitude. I wasn't exactly complimenting you there, boss. It's the same thing. There's a little bit of me in each of my products. Don't take that out of context. Anagochi and I are one and the same. Why is there another thing for Anagochi? A brief Anagochi gameplay clip. The trick is to feed your eel proper food and give it proper exercise. Another important strategy tip is to make sure to obtain the sharp chef's knife when you visit Kapabashi Kitchen Town partway through the game.
I had 10 minutes to get ready for work. I was so confused.
That is a thing. I looked at the clock. I had 10 minutes. Wait, 10 minutes? So you slept through your alarm or something?
Normally I have an hour to get ready and do everything.
Oof. I've done that quite a few times. Hold on a second.
I guess so.
Boy, you better not be playing with that fucking wire. Hold on a moment. Get the bug. Get the bug. There you go, killer. Alright, sorry. I thought they were playing with the internet wire that I use for the work computer upstairs. But they're not. They see a bug. Go on, then. Say something nice about eels. Chidi chimes right in without missing a beat. Eels are awesome. When it comes to eel sushi, 100 pieces barely whets my appetite. Fucking same. I love unagi don. And unagi, just unagi in general. I love unagi. It's really tasty. Don't you agree, baby?
What?
Exactly.
What'd you say?
Do you like unagi?
Nagi?
Yeah. You remember when I made that eel before?
Yeah. It's okay. It's not my favorite.
It's
maybe.
okay. Okay.
I didn't really like it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's over between us.
Alright, you can sleep on the couch.
Yep, you do. You do get to sleep on the couch.
Well, I'm tired, so I'm about to do that right now.
Okay, well then you better... There you go. There's the couch.
Hey, baby, I got some new nugget for you to eat right here.
Okay, let me cut that up and fry it.
Bring it on. Mr. Ed Gein.
Ed Gein didn't eat...
Wait, who was the one that was...
I don't remember his name. He was a German guy. That's all I remember.
Huh?
He was a German guy. He put his thing on Craigslist. Was like, hey, I want to eat somebody. Or no, what? The dude wanted to eat his own penis, and he got on Craigslist and posted a thing about it. So some guy saw it, and he's like, okay, come on over, and I'll do it for you. And then he chopped off his dick, and then he pan-fried it with some garlic butter, and then they ate it together. The guy ended up dying, obviously, and then he took the rest of his body and like chopped it up and was slowly eating it.
That's wrong.
You know, these two make quite a pair. That really means a lot to me, Chidi. Thank you. Thank you. I don't understand what any of this is about, but if it helps mend Mr. Yanagishita's wounded spirits, I guess I can't complain. I leave them to their devices and head for the storeroom. Well, this stream is already going very well. Talking about food and chopping up dicks and frying them in garlic butter. God damn it. The storeroom door opens with a rough grating sound.
I'll give you a rough grade.
Oh yeah? Would you?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, give me that rough grating sound. That's the one. Okay, now where's the light switch? I fumble around in the dark, feeling for the switch box.
Here it is.
My costume paws mute the sensations in my hands enough that even finding that is difficult. I bat at the wall willy-nilly until eventually the lights come on.
Oh, is this the Japanese Five Nights at Freddy's game?
Yes. Apparently I found the switch, even if I didn't feel it. Whoa. What the heck is this?
It's White Freddy.
No, that's me. I'm stuck in the costume. I can't get out.
Yeah, it is a Japanese Five Nights at Freddy's
That's
game.
exactly what it is.
Hey Google, set alarm for 6 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 6 a.m. Set.
Set alarm for 10:30 a.m.
Tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.
Love you. Love you too. The storeroom is practically overflowing with shoddy goods. A painting that looks like a child's scribblings, an oddly shaped hat bearing the words "grow 2 inches, guaranteed," a cheap-looking pendant with a tag that says it's set with a miracle stone. These stones are nothing more than simple glass beads that were purchased at 5,000 yen apiece. The seller claimed, normally these sell for 10,000 a pop, but if you buy 100 of them, I'll give you half off. At which the buyer declared, it really is a miracle, before joyfully agreeing to the purchase. The fact that someone like Yanagishita actually exists to buy these things up is also a kind of miracle. It's like this is the knockoff boneyard where cheap products go to die. They break away from their pathetic herd, knowing their time has come, and end up in this graveyard of a storeroom. Let's see. Anagochi, Anagochi. I quickly spy the cardboard box I'm looking for. Then I catch sight of a dark silhouette out of the corner of my eye. Eek! I yelp. That's a cockroach. It's one of them. Black, flat, quick, long antenna. It's often spotted in kitchens. Sometimes, somehow, their legs wind up in restaurant food. Ew. The size, the speed, the dark shape. It couldn't be anything else. It peers back at me from the shadow of the Anagochi box, the faint light catching the luster of its carapace. It looks ready to leap out at me at any moment. I need to act fast. Why do I have a choice? It's just a fucking cockroach! I challenge it to a single combat. It flitters aloft. It's gunning for me. All right. Bracing myself, I step forward to confront it, which paradoxically helps calm my nerves. I get the sneaking suspicion that this isn't the first time I've done battle with one of these things. It's like I've trained myself to protect someone who's even more scared of them than I am. As I mull that over, the thing hovering in the air presses its attack against me. Now's my chance. I snatch up a nearby piece of cardboard and swat at the creature hard. It sails out of the window in a graceful arc, then flitters away into the world beyond. Phew, at least we parted on mutually acceptable terms. I didn't have to squash it or blast it with pesticide. Hefting the box labeled Anagochi, I scurry away from the graveyard of schlock merchandise. It was life or death. But the wording of what it was said before makes me really think that the character that I'm playing as right now lost their memory. Like, it's happened before too, so I'm pretty sure I have amnesia with this character. Phew, I made it. When I get back to the break room, Mr. Yanagishita is still clutching Chidi's hands. An eel's super tasty when you salt broil it, too. Thank you. But tempura style is probably the best. Thank you. Mr. Yanagishita's spirits have certainly turned around. Okay, got it. I hold out the big cardboard box. Excellent, thank you. You girls are the greatest, Yanagishita shouts. His voice resounds with gratitude. Hey, that's it. I just got an amazing idea. Why don't the three of us start our own company? I'll pass. Chidi and I respond in unison. Man, you two shot that one down quick. Ah well, for today, let's just focus on selling Burning Hammer. By the way, I ask, where is the Burning Hammer? There wasn't any in the storeroom, and I don't see any here either. Oh, that's right. It's out back on the loading dock. We should probably go bring it in. Oh, and bring the Anagochis with you too. The recycling guy's gonna be showing up soon. Come on, let's go. Chidi and I follow Mr. Yanagishita out to the loading dock. It's not there. But the loading dock, it turns out, is empty. There's no sign of the Burning Hammer anywhere. It's gone, Mr. Yanagishita murmurs. Then his voice rises to a shout. It's gone! All gone! The Burning Hammer, it's all gone! Flying into a panic, he searches frantically from one end of the dock to the other, leaping into the air, even peering down into the cracks. But no matter where he looks, there's nothing for him to find. It was right here a little while ago. Like, right here, right here. I hear the sound of an engine revving outside. Mr. Yanagishita cries out in alarm. We can see a truck starting to pull away. Its bed is piled high with cardboard boxes and other assorted trash. Hey, boss, is that... Yes, there it is. Mr. Yanagishita begins racing after the truck. My burning hammer! His voice cracks as he cries out. Give that back! Give it back! But he's no match for a speeding truck, and the boxes of burning hammer vanish before his eyes. Burning hammer! That fucking face. Come back! Come back! Yanagishita's wailing echoes from the surrounding buildings. It's like something out of a movie. What the hell? What's up with that truck? Tama! Who the heck was that? Hey, don't look at me, I reply. Huh. With all those piles of stuff, it looked just like the recycling guy. As soon as he says it, revelation dawns on his face. The recycling guy? He mutters. I can see the color draining from his face. The words recycling guy give me an idea. If it was him, maybe he thought he was picking up the Anagochis by We have to find it! We have to find that truck! The man is absolutely beside himself. Chidi, Tama, you two split up and try to track it down. Wait, why do we have to look for it? Again, Chidi and I speak in chorus. If there's no sales demo, there's no money to pay you. And then all the work you've done will be for nothing. Right. When he puts it that way, I guess there isn't much of a choice. Somehow or another, we'll have to find that truck. It can't have gotten far, he continues. Now go hunt for it like your life depended on it. Chidi and I look at each other and sigh. How do you want to do this? She asks. Want to search together, or should we split up? Probably split up. Chidi and I go our separate ways, searching for a truck full of junk. I make my way to Center Guy. I'm so focused on searching all over as I walk that I lose track of where I'm going, and I wind up bumping right into a man who's hurrying along with his daughter. Who is this man? This is Teruo and Hana Toyama. They came to Center Guy to eat lunch. Before that, they were at Heaven Publishing in Shibuya Ichichome, while wandering around distractedly looking for somewhere cheap and tasty. Mr. Toyama bumped right into Tama. Oh, pardon me. I hop back to my feet and go to bow to the man in apology. Ow! He bows at the same time, and we manage to bonk our heads together. Sorry. As her dad drops to his knees, clutching his head, the girl begins to wander off. Hey, Hana, wait! The man lurches to his feet and rushes after the girl. She seems like an odd kid. Only 10 or so, but strangely cold and distant for her age. Well, the dude tried to fucking commit suicide. So... Nursing my own sore head, I make it all the way to Shibuya Station, and there's no sign of the truck. I'll probably never find it just by wandering around randomly. It's already 12:35. The sales demo starts in 25 minutes. I have serious doubts I'll be able to find the truck by then. What should I do? Are you going to give me another choice or no? Nope. So I must have made a good choice. But I can't go any further for now. So who do I get to play as next? The doctor, the writer, the cop, or the ex-street punk? think I'll play as... I think I'll play as the cop. Kano had been watching syndicate members hand off the attaché case for an hour and a half. He still had no idea where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice. But his orders remained the same. Follow and observe. He watched as the case was handed off once more. By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off. It's already been 90 minutes, huh? It was Sasayama. At some point, he'd crept up on Kano from behind. They don't seem like they're trying to get away at all, Kano said. They're just walking. What could they be up to? Sasayama shrugged. Yeah, it's weird. Kano recalled dictum number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. If Tateno's wisdom held true, the Syndicate must have some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw the investigators off their scent? No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if that's exactly what they were after? Buying time. Kano felt a sudden conviction that he was on the right track. I probably could have told you that about 30 minutes ago. More than that, like an hour and 30 minutes ago. If they needed more time to make sure they got their hands on the ransom payment. Wait, hold on. Could it be that... Could it be that the ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore? Because we didn't actually see it hand off anywhere, because he's been on it the whole time, so that would be the only explanation. I've got it. Sasayama perked up. You got what? Each time these crooks hand off the case, they sneak out a bundle of a million yen. They keep doing that, and eventually the case itself is empty. Of course. That's how they've been playing us. Kano and Sasayama exchanged a look. How many people would need to make the switch for them to get all the money? Sasayama asked. 50 million yen divided by 1 million. That makes 5 people. That's it then. No, wait. 50 people. That many? That can't be the deal then, Sasayama said. Guess not. They both sighed in unison. The man with the attaché case made his way back to Shibuya Station. The heck? Sasayama grumbled. He's right back where he started, or where we started. Kano felt his frustration growing. It honestly looked like the Syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. She was Japanese and entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on a notepad. He glanced at the pad but did not slow down. Within moments, he had left her behind. It looked like she'd just passed him a message. Well, that's sure fishy, Sasayama muttered. What? The girl? Asked Kano. Yeah, wanna go hit her up? Sasayama could only mean one thing. Questioning her. Yeah, let's see what she knows. Sasayama and Kano hurried over to the girl. Excuse me, miss, we'd like to ask you a few... Are you happy with your life? The woman shouted. She thrusted her notepad in Kano's face. Tell me this, are you happy with your life right now? Huh? Looking at the notepad, Kano saw the same question written there in big bold letters. The girl's eyes widened in surprise as if she hadn't expected the two men to actually stop and listen. Right now, sir, she continued more quietly, are you happy? If so, could you please take the survey about, about your life? Are you... That's the fuck... God damn it. So that was not the right choice. But that's the chick that the writer knows. That, because she's socially awkward, is the thing. Or at least from what we know. She's socially awkward, and she was given the task of asking people on the streets questions for an article that's due in like an hour and a half. So... so she's doing this. Okay. The more she spoke, the more flustered she became. Sasayama stepped in. Hey, I need to know, did you speak with that Western fellow just now? Huh? No, that isn't what I'm asking. Sir, are you happy with your life right now? Are you happy with your life right now? Kano got a sinking feeling in his stomach. This kid was looking for religious converts or something.
Yo.
You did speak with him, didn't you? Sasayama snapped. What did you tell him? AT. The girl's rambling abruptly ceased. Her already ruddy face went even redder and tears welled up in her eyes. I feel bad. I feel bad now. Poor kid, Kano thought. She just out here trying to get people to listen to her survey questions. There's no way she's part of this kidnapping plot. Look, miss, he said. For the time being, it would be a good idea for you to leave the area. Afraid I'm not at liberty to explain. The girl's only response was to start sobbing outright. Oh, Jesus fuck. I can't do this anymore. I want to go home. Kano and Sasayama exchanged awkward glances. I want to go home. I want to go home. Passers-by began shooting curious looks at the trio. Kano, you get back to work, Sasayama said. I'll escort this girl to the train station. He didn't quite manage to stifle the embarrassment in his voice. Right, Kano said. He hurried away, his eyes already searching for the suspect they'd been tailing. If that actually was the correct choice, I'd be surprised. It didn't take long to find him. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kano that all of the criminals who handled the attaché case had been wearing the same black clothing. That fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. It's called a diversion. That's what people do. The longer Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it all made sense. Was it really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger and they were just letting the kidnappers carry out their plan, whatever it was. The very first page of the Dick Diary spelled things loud and clear on that front. God damn it. Makes sense. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. Right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns for sure. Kano thought back to that day 3 years ago. Is now really the time to fucking do that?
Dick Diary.
It's never gonna happen. I'm always gonna laugh. A blurgler, the Hamburglar. A burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Kano had just been put on police box duty and was ordered to the scene because his box was just down the street from the standoff. In case you don't know, nobody is assigned to a detective post right after graduating from the police academy. Detective positions can be quite hard to come by. Candidates are selected for detective training only after accumulating enough experience working at the local police box, a very small type of neighborhood station manned by only a handful of officers. Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect was shouting nonsense through the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated.
Remind me of one failed check at Disco Elysium, where you can be hysterical about girls saying "Fook the hat" after seeing a prom to start crying. That's what that reminded me of.
Did I ever play that game? I feel like I played that game. Disco Elysium. What was that one about? Because when I think of that game, I think of like a game where you move into this town and it involves like hacking, I think, in a weird way, and like some underground group of hackers or some shit. That's what I'm thinking of. Is that the same game? You know what? Fuck it. I want to look. So yeah, Disco Elysium. No, that's not the one that I'm thinking of. I have no idea what the fuck I'm thinking of then.
So you want me to have Cecil action with hat? Here, right in front of you, on the ice. That how you see me.
Okay. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. Step aside, a voice said suddenly amidst the throng. I cannot English. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit had approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the scene. I'm sorry, sir, Kano said. You have to stay back for your own safety. He attempted to usher the man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice. I'm Detective Tateno from the Shibuya Precinct.
Is that game about
What's the situation?
So drunk he forgot who he is.
Oh. Oh, that game. Yeah, I really want to get that game, actually. I keep hearing good things about it. Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course. Kano stammered, then quickly explained. He hasn't taken anyone hostage, but there are still people on the upper floors of the building. Giving only a slight nod, Tateno marched straight up into the building. The plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was on the ground out front. Tateno picked it up and dumped the remaining contents out over his head. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. I've covered myself in gasoline too, Tateno called out from the entryway. The tension in the air ratcheted itself up several notches. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Kano heard the burglar shouting from inside. If you're gonna do it, Tateno called out. We can die together. And he walked into the building. All Kano could do was watch things unfold through the plate glass window. Tateno was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The crook was clutching a lighter, his hand trembling. His expression was like that of a frightened child. Tateno slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. The onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tateno handed the now docile suspect over to the detectives, then warily sat down against the planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of a police drama. That was amazing, Kano breathed. You have to deal with guys like this as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this get even a little out of hand and you never know how things might go south on you. Tateno spoke quietly, almost as if he were talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed that there were children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set the fire, there was no way they would have escaped in time. But I mean, what if he'd actually set the place on fire? If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them of anything unless you do the same. Kano still remembered the awe he'd felt at Tateno's matter-of-fact tone. Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it would make Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Besides, civil servants tended to stay afloat in times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant he was in good physical shape for the job. He'd never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace. But now, here he was in the presence of a detective who literally risked his life in the line of duty without a second thought. A police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect. Ever. Getting back to his feet, Tateno tugged off his gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. Kano wrote the words in a notebook he'd just purchased. Thus, the Dick Diary was born. It's not from sucking all that dick. Thinking back to the way Tateno had put his life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting the crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. He uttered the fundamental dictum out loud.
Started on page 24 of the Dick Diary.
Only 24 pages in. Well, you've lost sight of it completely, a voice said out of nowhere. What? Kano spun around. It was Shizuo. Rumi was with him. Sir? Kano stuttered. Weren't you supposed to be waiting at the cafe for... There was some lowlife there, so we left. Rumi's dad looked plenty mean under ordinary circumstances. Right now, he looked like a man possessed. Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm still on duty at the moment. I'm going back home, Shizuo huffed. You're not marrying my daughter. He turned to walk away. No, please, just wait. I'm done waiting. Now I'm going home. Please, don't do this. Just hear me out. I've heard all I need to hear from you. Rumi, we're leaving. Dad, please. Goodbye. Seizing his daughter by the hand, Shizuo stormed off without another word, dragging her behind. Shinya! She called out over her shoulder. Rumi. She was gone. Rumi was gone. Kano desperately wanted to go after her, but he hesitated in an agony of indecision. I can't turn back on my responsibilities. I'm a detective. My work has to be my first priority. Going after Rumi isn't what a good detective would do. Oh, Detective Tateno, what should I do?
89 is gonna be the only thing to hold his dick from now on.
Tateno, God damn it. Still the dictum echoed in his mind. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect.
All these real-life photos and all movement makes it more.
Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. You what? 6 months later? What the fuck? Okay. Kano made his way through a small corner of a vast field in the Nagano countryside. Slowly and leisurely, he tilled the soil. He'd surprised himself with his own newfound enthusiasm for organic farming, learning more from Shizuo day after day. His father-in-law had taught him the ways of farming from the ground up. And while things had been rocky between them at first, their friendship was now growing strong. Yeah, he fucking quit. Pausing to wipe his brow, he smiled at the acreage around him. He looked forward to tending the crops he'd sown until harvest came around. If he'd stayed on as a detective, he might well never have known the joy he now found in his work. This wasn't the only seed Kano had planted. Ew, straight people. By the time harvest season came around,
good end.
The new life growing within his dear Rumi's belly would be ready to celebrate it with them. I guess? Apparently not. That's not a good end. Apparently that's a bad end.
Straight low.
How is that a bad end? Kana went after Rumi and Shizuo, proving his devotion and earning her hand in marriage. Now he's a farmer in Nagano, and crime in Tokyo is someone else's problem. But hang on a sec. Why weren't Rumi and Shizuo waiting at the cafe like they were supposed to be? Well, there's no way for Kano to know about how one man's bit of curiosity at that cafe led to this strange twist of fate. Oh, this is gonna be the writer. Okay, so I gotta play as the writer, I think. But should we... Okay, what do we play as? This dude? Street punk? Doctor? Or writer? I like the wiggle too much. I want to see the wiggle.
Writer. Damn, I hope this game is translated on PSP. Even always seen it there but thought I would not enjoy it.
Is it even on PSP? Like, I know the game is on PS3. Like, I have the original on PS3 in Japanese, but so far the story in this is actually pretty decent. Minorikawa stood on the sidewalk, weighing his options. Chiaki's phone call had thrown him for a loop. He had expected her to be anxious about doing interviews, but wow. She was a real basket case. Still, that didn't change the fact that he had a schedule of his own to keep. The surveillance camera story had to be his top priority. Chiaki would just have to find some way to fumble through things on her end. He headed on down Dogenzaka, scanning his surroundings as he went. There were cameras set up on streetlights all over the place.
After PS3 release.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know that. Sorry. There were so many, it was hard to believe he'd never noticed them before. One over there, another just over here. Electronic eyes peering down on passers-by from high above where they were tougher to spot. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling it was Japanese only. Because they only recently released this within the last couple of years, I think, in English. Just how were the people who came to Shibuya reacting to this situation? Hey, you there! Minorikawa called out to a man riding by on a bicycle. Hey, you! Stop! The man brought his bike to a sudden stop. Oh, it's this guy again. Taisei Yasuda, proprietor of the knick-knack shop in Udagawacho. Now, let's see, roughly 30 minutes earlier, while he was wandering along the JR tracks picking up lost and abandoned items, Achi foisted off his trash onto him, and so he's in a bit of a foul mood. Since then, he's been going along on his bicycle, still picking up things from the roadside. There's a trunk on the back of his bike where he stores his finds. Huh? What's the matter? He asked. Hi, the name's Minoru Minorikawa. I'm a freelance writer. Okay. I'm just doing interviews for a magazine. I'd like to talk to you. A magazine? Which one? 4-Star General Gossip. Minorikawa did his best to sound proud. Oh. Well, I'm actually in a bit of a hurry here. Minorikawa soldiered on. See that? He pointed at one of the nearby surveillance cameras. What? The man asked. The blimp? A massive blimp was indeed drifting slowly overhead. The type of aircraft that floats using the lift provided by an enormous envelope filled with lighter-than-air gas. This envelope, the balloon, is often used for corporate advertising. This particular blimp has been puttering about the skies above Shibuya since last night. No, the camera! The camera watched them both in uncaring silence. Oh, that. What about it? What do you mean, what about it? Those cameras have been installed all throughout Shibuya. They're taking in anything and everything, privacy be damned. A shocked pallor came to the man's face. Oh, really? He muttered uneasily to himself. I guess I should be careful next time I go picking stuff up. Hey, what are you talking about? Minorikawa asked. Oh, nothing. Just stuff. Way to dodge the question entirely. Anyhow, I think there are some good things about the cameras too, the man said hurriedly. Oh? Minorikawa asked. Such as? Well, I mean, they must have helped catch some crooks, right? Yeah, I think you're right about that. Oh, I am? The man looked shocked to have his own statement confirmed. Are you hiding something from me? Uh-huh. No, nothing in particular. The man shook his head vehemently. Nothing at all, really. Well, whatever, Minorikawa said. In any case, even if the cameras are helping in arresting criminals, there are some places where people just don't want to be watched. What? Hey, Toots. For instance, how would you like it if someone set up a security camera inside of your home? Apparently that offended them. What do you mean? I mean, a burglar might try to get into your home. If you had a security camera, you could be alerted right away.
It wasn't him, it was a mod though.
Wait, it was a mod?
Greater than.
Oh, if it wasn't him.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird. But yeah, you do tend to get banned a lot. What's going on?
99% Asian. So I wanted to make sure, cause why not?
And that got you banned. Isn't that kind of an extreme argument? Nope. You're the one making the extreme argument here. What?
But they don't have the record like Huel.
The man stared bewildered. You're saying it's okay for folks to film people around town as much as they might like, but not to take a look inside people's houses. Yeah, I guess I am, the man mumbled. Minorikawa snorted. You don't think too deeply about things, do you? He mocked. The man huffed in indignation. I don't see the problem, he said. I mean, it's a normal enough opinion to want to bring down crime but also protect privacy. Well, yeah. So if they're just going to set up cameras around town, I'm okay with that. Minorikawa grinned inwardly. You're being naive, he said. Way too naive. Naive about what? By now the man was getting worked up. I'm having trouble with English right now. This is bad. Once you start letting people watch you some of the time, you'll eventually let them do it more and more. That's how the world works. A simple change in camera angle is all it'll take to steal the last traces of your privacy away. That's kind of funny coming from you. Doesn't 4-star general gossip get all its scuttlebutt by invading the privacy of others? Since when are you people concerned with personal privacy? Meaning what exactly? Minorikawa asked. You know damn well what I mean. Have you no shame? I've got nothing to be ashamed about, Minorikawa exclaimed. If some celebrity scandal breaks, I write it up in the form of a top-class, socially conscious exposé. That's the Minorikawa seal of quality. The man rolled his eyes. Please, as if anyone's ever heard of that. Your everyday freelance reporter would say something about how security firms have no right to use cameras to disrupt personal privacy. But not me. Oh no. I'm the only guy who'd write a first-class piece on the subject. And you want to know why? The man's only response was a doubtful look. Because privacy only exists for me to utterly demolish it? I'm sorry, what? Minorikawa finished with a prideful grin. That's nothing but journalistic arrogance, the man railed. Oh yeah? Yeah, I'd rather have surveillance cameras any day, if the alternative is some weird gossip piece. This time, Minorikawa didn't have a handy retort. An awkward silence descended over the pair. Right. I see. Minorikawa muttered to himself as he busily scribbled in his notepad. The man was visibly taken aback. Thank you for your cooperation, Minorikawa said at last. You gave me some good stuff. He held up a hand to forestall an angry retort. I realize I probably got you a bit riled up. You'll have to forgive me. What? The man peered up at Minorikawa in disbelief. This is just my interview style. Sorry, I know it's a little unorthodox. Buddy, you're a weirdo, you know that? The man said. Yeah, I hear that a lot, Minorikawa laughed. So can I go now? Sure, I'll quote you as passerby A in my article. Sure, whatever, the man muttered. He quickly sped off on his bicycle. Minorikawa now had some material for his surveillance camera piece. He wanted to organize what he'd managed to put together so far. So he decided to head toward his next interview location, keeping an eye out for a cafe where he could stop to work on his copy. He used the map included in the project proposal to guide him.
He sped off on his 10 speed at the speed of a brisk walk.
Hey, I got my accident on a 10 speed, and I can tell you for a fact, I can go a lot faster than a brisk walk. I could go so fast that I can break my face.
Failed but got somewhat resolved for Toon it seemed. Streamer Don seemed to be angry at him.
Oh, well that's good at least. As long as they're not angry. Sorry, I had to click somewhere. Okay, he used the map included in the project proposal to guide him. It was hard to read the words and make out the details, but it looked like the Nokane building where the Burning Hammer demo was being held. He was just down center guy.
So apparently the guy has a condition and I confused it for making him agent. Yikes, how was I supposed to know?
Like, right? And why would... Man, people are fucking retarded sometimes. Like, how is a newcomer supposed to know about shit like that? You can't just fucking ban people willy-nilly.
Super Puka.
Yeah. You know, that's one of the things that I don't like about, like, the whole... This wouldn't be SJW culture in this case. What would this be? This would be, well, I mean, in a way, kind of SJW, but, like, being socially aware of other people's conditions and shit like that, like...
Could have been a troll on and alt pretending to be new Sophist, not with malice.
Yeah. I mean, that is a thing, too.
From hitting Ben Hammer causer just degenerates.
That's kind of the main issue, is that, like, you can't just do that. You can't just ban people without knowing where the other perspective is. Because it could easily just be a misunderstanding. Because the other person may not actually know that somebody has a condition or something. But at least you asked. Right? Anyways, there was no indication of which floor the event would be held on, however. That made him a little anxious, but he'd probably be able to find someone to point him in the right direction once he got to the building. He spotted a cafe up ahead. "Coffee, please," he shouted as he strode inside. He slumped down in an open chair. Hopefully he'd be able to hole up in here until 1 o'clock working on his article. If he couldn't have it done by then, finishing the whole issue by the end of the day would be a tall order. Right? He pulled a cigarette from his overcoat as he waited for his computer to boot up. Having a smoke was Minorikawa's little trigger for going into writing mode. What is writing mode, you may ask? It's the state of being in a mood to write some text. As Minorikawa goes about his job, he switches between writing mode, interview mode, food mode, and sleep mode. When busy, he'll sometimes go into writing mode and food mode at the same time.
He was just too quick P in the draw. Cool.
Yeah. When busy, he'll sometimes go into writing mode and food mode at the same time. Sometimes when straying into sleep mode in the midst of food mode. When he's even busier, he'll eat and write mid-interview while nodding off. This is known as ultimate mode. He stuck the cigarette in his mouth and lit it up. With the first heavy draw of smoke, he felt his mind focus. The rough idea for his article came to his head, nearly fully formed. All he needed to do now was to get it all written down.
I really love that whole mode thing, it's so great.
Finally, his laptop finished booting up. Took you long enough, pal, he muttered to the computer. His hands leapt to the keyboard like a predator pouncing on its prey.
Oh, LOL.
Fucking say that 10 times fast. In a matter of moments, he had hit his stride. His fingers clicked away. One by one, lines of text filled up his screen. A waitress stepped up beside him. Excuse me, sir. But Minorikawa was in writing mode. He didn't even hear her. Sir?
So the streamer said
Sir, I beg your
asking
pardon.
if he's Asian is like saying the N-word WTF.
If you're asking somebody if they're Asian, that does not equate to saying the N-word with the hard R. There's a big fucking difference. And if that dude doesn't know the fucking difference, then he's a fucking snowflake. Sorry, but he is.
And he says that he doesn't associate with race and shit.
What is he, a furry?
Like, you can't be raceless.
Like, no shit.
He's an adult diaper lover.
Oh!
Just dummy.
Oh. Wait, are you serious about that? I hope not.
ADBL community.
I honestly don't know what that means. Can somebody inform me what that means?
What does the Apple thing have to do with the race stuff? Adult diaper baby lover.
It's so weird, but okay, sure. I mean, you do you. You do you, bud.
Like this.
But asking somebody if they're Asian is not saying, "Hey, are you a nice person?" There's a difference.
Yeah, the Asian stuff is stupid.
Nah, fuck that, dude. Sir? Sir, I beg your pardon.
Doesn't like to be asked if he's Asian. I'm so confused.
What the Just leave now. Leave now, inform everybody to not interact with them.
Imagine people being aggressive to asking if they're European, Slavic, Latino.
Bro, are you asking if I am Russian? Bro, not right. Not right, bro. Suka bliat. Suka bliat, bro. Again, Minorikawa was deaf to the waitress's attempts to get his attention.
My race OMG, OMG.
Fucking snowflakes, dude. I swear to God. The waitress smacked the table.
I
Quiet,
guess if they get it a lot, I can see how Thai could be annoyed with it, but not like that low.
right? Quiet, Minorikawa snapped. He slammed the table right back. Don't interrupt me when I'm working, not if you know what's good for you.
It's not even a snow.
The waitress didn't give it much as a flinch. She leaned in aggressively, getting right in Minorikawa's face. Ikumi Omiya, employee at Collabo Cafe.
That could make sense.
While appearing cute and demure at first glance, she's quite strong-willed and frightening when angry. She works nights at a place called the Scolding Pub, where customers rent private rooms in which they are scolded at length by attractive girls. I've seen weirder host clubs, so this is not any different. One middle-aged businessman once told her, "Your face looks simply marvelous when you're angry." Sir, I hate to bother you, but I have to ask you to please refrain from smoking. Minorikawa blinked. Huh? This is a non-smoking establishment, sir. No smoking? Minorikawa asked. The cigarette bobbed in his mouth as he spoke. The waitress pointed sharply to the sign on the wall. The words "no smoking" were spelled out clear as day. We ask that patrons please not smoke so that other customers can fully enjoy the aroma of their coffee. The waitress drew herself up in arrogant triumph. A woman sitting at the table next made a face as she tried to fan the smoke away from her hand, or with her hands. Customers all around the shop were glaring at him. "You guys don't know the first thing about the aroma of coffee," Minorikawa scoffed. "The scent of coffee only truly comes to life amidst the choking stench of tobacco smoke." Oh boy. The waitress's only response was to jab her finger again. But this time she didn't point at the sign, she pointed to the door. "Sir, if you're going to smoke, please take it outside." Sometime later, sitting inside the Café Lautrec, Minorikawa lit up his third cigarette. At last, a safe refuge. It had taken him quite some time to find a place that allowed smoking after he got kicked out of the first cafe. In recent years, many cafes and restaurants have phased out the concept of the smoking section in favor of prohibiting smoking areas across the board. This makes a place like Lautrec especially important to smokers. There are large air vents in the ceiling to help keep the interior more agreeable for those who do not smoke. Now he was in a rush to make up for lost time. His fingers flew over the keyboard at lightning speed. The more he wrote, the harder he focused. At this rate, he'd have the story wrapped up in no time. "Today, you hear me?" A voice intruded suddenly on his awareness. One of the other customers was shouting. "You're breaking up with that fellow today." Minorikawa's fingers drifted to a halt. He looked around to see where the voice had come from. An older man, red in the face, was shouting at the young woman who sat across from him. "Please, Dad," the woman pleaded. "Stop. You're making a scene." Ah, a father and daughter, then. It was rare nowadays to see a father behave so imperiously toward his own daughter. Just now sheltered, had he been trying to keep her? Or just how sheltered had he been? English. Hard. Minorikawa couldn't see her face from where he was sitting, but his interest was piqued. Okay, so this is going to actually define what happens later on. So we know that they leave the cafe together for some reason. But what's the thing that makes them leave? Is it the curiosity of this guy? Or is it just him feigning ignorance?
He's an asshole.
They leave because he's an asshole. So then, finish the article.
B?
No, he reminded himself that he needed to finish his article. Besides, if this young lady looked anything like her father, he'd just as soon pass. Minorikawa went back to his typing. It took a few minutes to reestablish his writing groove, with the two still bickering across the room, but thankfully, he soon regained his focus. What's that? A strange beeping sound broke Minorikawa out of his writing reverie. Upon looking up in confusion, he found his attention drawn to a young woman at another table. And then one of these, and one of these. Oh, and this, and this, and this, and this, and that too. She finished with a broad grin. "Let me just repeat your order back to you. 1 Japanese-style beef patty, 1 spicy fish roe spaghetti, 1 chicken casserole, 1 French onion soup, 1 fruit parfait, 1 chocolate parfait, and 1 deluxe chocolate parfait. Will that be all?" The waitress anxiously awaited confirmation. The waitress, Ryoko Kakinuma, is a second-year student at Midoriyama Academy's law school. She was hassled by a pair of hustlers on her way to work and showed up 5 minutes late for her shift. Oh, that chick. The manager told her that those 5 minutes were coming out of her pay, so she's a bit irritated right now.
This girl has the worst luck, though.
You forgot the large caramel shake. The customer was a full-figured young woman, ensconced at a nearby table. Oh, my apologies. The waitress quickly jotted down the addition to the order. That'll do it for now, the young woman said. For now? Yikes. She's actually planning on ordering more after that. The marveling at the display of appetite, Minorikawa went back to typing.
Finally, a mooch Lindred. Great
Now
idea.
what?
America, fuck yeah.
He heard the strange beeping sound again, subtly different than the first time. And this time it was closer. Seriously, what the heck is that? I need to get to the bottom of this or I'll never be able to concentrate. Just where the heck is that sound coming from?
So Hess curious.
He searched his surroundings for a moment and quickly discovered that the noise was coming from his own bag. He pulled out one of the most important tools of his trade, a bug detector, which is an instrument for finding listening devices, blah, blah, blah. I think you know what it is. It was on, and it had picked up a signal. To a reporter, information was life. That made owning a bug detector a sensible precaution in his line of work. With the device in hand, Minorikawa casually scanned the area. Eventually, he zeroed in on the signal. He stood up. "Everyone, your attention, please," he announced. "Someone set up a listening device in here." Several cafe patrons turned their heads in disbelief. A woman wreathed in pungent perfume flashed him a disagreeable look. "Oh, come on, that's ridiculous," she huffed. "There's something fishy going on. The only thing fishy right now is you," the woman declared disdainfully. "Why don't you get out of here and let everyone enjoy their meals?" "No, I smell a scoop." "You what? Oh, fuck, that's the doctor dude's wife."
Make some lead, we found out.
That's the doctor dude's wife. So if she has a bug on her, does she know about the virus thing?
Oh, fuck.
You what? You, what's your name? None of your business, that's what. Now hurry up and stop that awful noise. The other customers were starting to murmur loudly. "There's a listening device here, folks," Minorikawa said. "How can that not bother you? Do you know where it could be?" "Excuse me," the woman called out. "Could someone please do something about this man?" A waitress hurried over. "Sir, please, you're bothering our other customers. There's a listening device in here. That's what people should be bothered by right now." The waitress took a reflexive step backward at the words listening device. "You're the one who's intruding on everyone," the woman shouted. "Honestly, could you please stop that racket?" Will I play another game after this? Not tonight, because in about 9 minutes, or at least after the end of this, I'm going to be doing Blender. It's not me making the racket, it's the bug tracker.
Oh, blend me up, real good.
Just who the hell do you think you are? Police? Somebody call the police. "Ma'am, please calm down," the waitress said. "There are other customers here and I'll calm down once you get this disrespectful bore out of here." "All I'm doing is sharing the truth. You can't kick me out for that." The waitress wavered, clearly intimidated by both of them. "You've sure got a lot of nerve," the woman snapped at Minorikawa. "Go play detective someplace else." "I'm not a detective, I'm a reporter." "Really now? By far my least favorite profession." "Oh, and why is that? Did someone write a story about you, lady? Got skeletons in your closet?" "You shut your mouth, how dare you?" "Yeah, I smell a scoop here all right, and the smell is coming from you." "Oh, stop it with your scoop nonsense already. It's no use trying to hide things from me. You have no idea what you're talking about." "Oh yes I do, lady." "Go to hell. After you." Blah 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 blah. As they shouted over each other, their words blurred together until they were barely words anymore. The onlookers could hear only indistinct, meaningless raving. And still the yelling went on and on and on. Eventually, there came the sound of approaching sirens.
A peasant or uncultured person.
But even...
lacks in education. So that chick is a bitch to call him that.
Yep. But even when a police cruiser pulled up outside the cafe, the two didn't slow their bickering. bad end. Alright, obviously I have to choose the other option.
Got wrecked, son.
But now I'm curious what happens with the fucking director wife.
Get you.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you going to continue for... Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Well, never mind. I need to focus on finishing this article. Minorikawa immersed himself in his writing again. Before long, he stopped worrying about the curious sound. The plump young woman set about devouring all the food she'd ordered despite the strange look she was getting. Now that was an appetite to be reckoned with. It took her under 3 minutes to polish off the lot. Jesus Christ. Then, looking not the least bit sated, she picked the menu right back up. Was she seriously going to order more? Minorikawa was starting to take interest in this young lady. There might be a story here. He conjured up a series of headlines in his mind. Woman inhales 30,000 calories in 3 minutes. This is the equivalent of 100 pieces of shortcake, 300 glasses of milk, or enough steak and rice to feed about 30 people. Now, he needed something with more punch. Food for thought, an expose on obesity. Now, that was no good. He wasn't writing for a fashion mag here.
Actually, 15 people low.
A gourmet day in Shibuya. That was it. He'd be able to whip something up if he went with the foodie angle. Minorikawa got up from his seat. That's pretty impressive, he said to the hungry diner. Do you always eat that much? The young woman glared back at him. Not always, she said. Suddenly, tension filled the air. Oops, was that way too blunt of me? I mean, she is a young lady after all. Maybe I should change up my approach. Who the heck are you, anyway? The woman asked. I'm a freelance writer. I was hoping I could do an interview with you real quick. You want to interview me? The suspicion was plain on her face. I do. I mean, girls all over the world worry about their diets, right? I hear that, yeah. So would you be willing to share your secret or your technique or whatever for how to eat without getting fat? What? Me? Sure, I mean, look at the figure you're maintaining despite eating all this food. The young woman's expression brightened up. Oh, you noticed? There's actually a lot that goes into all this. Yeah? The basic thing, though, is to eat 10 meals a day. Minorikawa struggled to keep his jaw from dropping. 10 meals a day? She flashed him a chubby cheek grin. You don't know how diets work, do ya? She chuckled. Eating only 1 or 2 meals a day, that's what'll make you fat. You gotta space your food out into smaller portions throughout the day. That's the fundamentals of dieting right there. Right, but what happened to the smaller portions part? Minorikawa had to bite his tongue. Ah, I see, he said. Any other pro-dieting tips you could share? Well, for the basics, I'd say always drink protein instead of tea, yeah? Drink protein all day? Seriously? Once again, it took all of Minorikawa's willpower to keep his thoughts to himself. Let's see, what else? Oh, there's this stuff called Burning Hammer too, but... She trailed off with a little wince. Wait, Minorikawa perked up. Did you say Burning Hammer? Oh, you know it? I've heard of it, anyway, Minorikawa replied. He decided he was better off keeping his plans to head to the sales demo a secret. There's a sales demo later on if you're interested, the woman said as if she were reading his thoughts. You know, I just realized that while all this is happening, this chick is supposed to be looking for the missing burning hammer, but she's not. Instead, she's eating a shit ton of food. The woman said as if she were reading his thoughts, though, full disclosure, I am working for them right now. She handed Minorikawa an advertising pamphlet. There was a more detailed map for the venue included.
She is on that grind.
What a stroke of luck. Now he didn't need to rely on the crummy map and the project proposal anymore. He'd have no trouble finding the venue with the building's various floors all broken down for him. And actually, I gotta get back to work, the woman said. Sure, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to hang back and finish up my copy. Here. The woman left the cafe, and Minorikawa went back to his laptop.
That was just a small snack break. Ahem.
Yeah. Small. Snack. Not a meal. That was all a snack. He'd gotten some new info on the Burning Hammer sales demo, but he'd also lost some more time. The surveillance camera piece still wasn't finished. It was going to be a near thing to get it done before the sales demo started. Yet, instead of returning to his writing, he got out his cell phone. What if Toyama had gotten another of his crazy ideas? If he'd tried to hang himself again, the thought had Minorikawa too worried to work on his copy. The phone rang several times before someone picked up. Mr. Toyama, where are you right now? Minorikawa asked. Right now? I'm on the run, somewhere near Shoto, which is an upscale residential district. Despite being smack dab in the middle of the city, it's a quiet neighborhood, rife with greenery. The residence of the former governor of Tokyo is here, built on a massive 2,200 square meter plot of land. There's a shady hotel district a short walk to the south, making for quite the juxtaposition. Completely fucking true, by the way. And I can tell you, when they say shady hotel district, like, it actually is. Like, you go there and it's like, bro, am I in the red light district right now? Because it feels like it. Toyama was speaking in an oddly hushed tone. Shoto? After you left the office, some guys came by to collect on my debts, so I made a run for it. Okay, so he wasn't dead, but the situation was still pretty bad. Look, we'll get you through this somehow, Minorikawa said, hoping it was true. What would the right answer be in this case? Well, let's think. We saw the suicidal guy and his daughter walking around downtown.
Is fun.
But I'm thinking...
So choose whatever.
Did anything happen when he bumped into the detective? Like, he got sidetracked a little bit. So maybe go back to the office? You need to get back to the office ASAP. The office? But they'll find me there for sure. Toyama's voice was a little more than a pathetic whimper. It's a little bit of reverse psychology. The last place the debt collectors are going to think you went is back to the office, right? Ah, I see. This guy's plotline, the person that I'm playing as, he's a freelance writer. It originally started off with him getting a phone call from the guy that he's calling right now, Toyama, who works for a magazine. There was a bit of a snafu when it came to the magazine where they promised winnings of money if people did something, and there was a fluke in that something, which cost him a lot of money. And a lot of, well, everybody in the magazine company left. Because of that, they're going to run late on the current issue, which needs to be done in about 2 to 3 hours. And he contacted the main character that I'm playing as right now. But in his desperation of trying to get anything right, he just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to kill myself. So the main character runs to the office, and you see him about to kill himself. And you stop it. And you come up with this idea of, you know, I can do all the writing. I know a couple people who can help out, and that's the one chick that was in the detective plotline who was nervous. She's one of the other writers. So you guys are trying to write the articles as quickly as possible to get this deadline in place, so that way the dude can actually make his money back. For now, just stay hidden until I can get these articles finished. Alright, Toyama said weakly. He hung up. Minorikawa let out a deep sigh, then turned back to his laptop. There we go. Alright, I made it to a break point. So that requires me to do something on somebody else's storyline. I just don't know whose. Now, since we do know that the doctor, or at least the doctor's wife, is involved in the writer's area, I'm thinking maybe tomorrow or whenever I play this next, I'll play as the doctor and hopefully get that story knocked out. But we have the doctor and we have Achi as well. But, for the time being, I'm going to switch over to the site that shall not be named and work in Blender for the rest of the night. So, here's the intermission.
It's intermission time, folks.
And I
Step right over to our refreshment center.
will see you guys on Twitch a little later.
Refreshment goodies
Just not right now, obviously. So have a good night.
Breathtaking.
See you next time.
Goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 10 minutes.